Gun violence is the ultimate superstorm, President Biden says as Washington, AP. President Joe Biden said Friday he was determined to stop gun violence in the U.S. as he formally launched the first-ever federal office to be dedicated to uncovering solutions and supporting communities ravaged by shootings. After every mass shooting, we hear a simple message: do something. Please do something, he said from the Rose Garden, where he was joined by lawmakers and families of victims of gun violence. My administration has been working relentlessly to do something. The new Office of Gun Violence Prevention will be led by Vice President Kamala Harris, a former prosecutor whose experience is perfect for this effort, Biden said. The office's goals include ensuring a bipartisan gun safety law passed last year is fully implemented nationwide along with Biden's executive actions to stop gun violence. It will seek to find new actions the White House can take unilaterally as further congressional support for gun safety laws seems slim. It will aim to build better support systems in states and cities and coordinate support for families who have lived through mass shootings and violence. Shootings are the ultimate superstorm, Biden said. Time equals 400 ms, greater than, but the office is limited in what it can do. In order to tighten restrictions or pass a ban on so-called assault weapons, as Biden repeatedly called for, Congress would need to pass legislation. That seems unlikely. In the years since the 2022 law was passed, Republican support for restrictions has slipped. Time equals 400 ms, greater than. President Joe Biden speaks about gun safety on Friday, September 22, 2023, from the Rose Garden of the White House in Washington. Vice President Kamala Harris listens at right. AP photo, Jacqueline Martin. Still, Biden and Democrats are banking on gun safety as a major party animator for 2024, particularly for younger voters. The president was joined Friday by Representative Maxwell Frost, D. Florida, the youngest member of Congress, who said he got involved in politics because, "I didn't want to get shot in school." Firearms are the #1 killer of children in the U.S. so far this year. 220 children younger than 11 have died by guns and 1,054 between the ages of 12 and 17 have died. We all want our kids to have the freedom to learn how to read and write instead of duck and cover, for God's sake, the president said. Overall, stricter gun laws are desired by a majority of Americans, regardless of what the current gun laws are in their state. That desire could be tied to some Americans' perceived impact of what fewer guns could mean for the country, namely, fewer mass shootings. As of Friday, there have been at least 35 mass killings in the U.S. so far in 2023, leaving at least 171 people dead, not including shooters who died, according to a database maintained by the Associated Press and USA Today. In partnership with Northeastern University, Harris said while this violence impacts all communities, it does not do so equally. Communities of color are far more likely to suffer. I have seen with my own eyes what a bullet does to the human body, she said. We cannot normalize any of this. People in the audience listen as President Joe Biden speaks about gun safety on Friday, September 22, 2023, from the Rose Garden of the White House in Washington. AP photo, Jacqueline Martin. President Joe Biden talks with Representative Lucy McBath, D.G.A., after he spoke about gun safety on Friday, September 22, 2023, from the Rose Garden of the White House in Washington. AP photo, Jacqueline Martin. President Joe Biden speaks about gun safety on Friday, September 22, 2023, from the Rose Garden of the White House in Washington. Vice President Kamala Harris and Representative Maxwell Frost, D. Florida, listen. AP photo, Jacqueline Martin. Time equals 400 ms, greater than. President Joe Biden greets people in the audience after speaking about gun safety on Friday, September 22, 2023, from the Rose Garden of the White House in Washington. AP photo, Jacqueline Martin.